Question 1. A business owner has purchased a commercial general liability (CGL) insurance policy. The business operates a retail store that sells household goods. One of their customers slips and falls while shopping, suffering injuries that require medical attention. The customer later files a lawsuit seeking damages for the injuries. Which of the following would most likely be covered under the CGL policy? A. Damages for the customer's medical expenses related to the injury. B. Legal defense costs for the business in defending against the lawsuit. C. Costs for the business to repair the store's damaged property. D. Damage to the customer's personal property during the incident. Answer B. Explanation. Under commercial general liability (CGL) policy, coverage generally provides protection for bodily injury and property damage that occurs due to the business's operations. In this case, the injury suffered by the customer is covered under bodily injury. The policy also covers legal defense costs if the business is sued for damages related to the injury. However, the policy would not cover the repair of the store's property. C. Or damage to the customer's personal property. D. Medical expenses incurred by the customer would typically be handled by medical payment coverage, but the primary focus here is the defense against the lawsuit. B. Question 2. Mr. Johnson owns a small construction business in South Carolina and has purchased a business owner's policy (BOP) that includes property and liability coverage. Recently, while working on a project, his team accidentally damaged the property of a neighboring business. The neighboring business is now suing Mr. Johnson for the damages. What should Mr. Johnson expect in terms of coverage under his BOP? A. His BOP will likely cover the property damage, but only if the neighboring business can prove that the damage was intentional. B. The property damage caused by Mr. Johnson's team will likely be covered under the liability portion of his BOP, provided the damage was accidental. C. Since the damage was caused during work on a project, Mr. Johnson's BOP will not cover the claim because the property damage occurred off-site. D. Mr. Johnson will need to purchase a separate commercial general liability policy to cover the claim since BOP policies do not cover property damage. Answer B. Explanation. A business owner's policy (BOP) generally includes coverage for both property and liability. In this case, the property damage caused by Mr. Johnson's team is most likely covered under the liability portion of the BOP as long as the damage was accidental and not the result of an excluded activity such as intentional harm. Option A is incorrect because property damage does not require the neighboring business to prove intent in most cases. Option C is incorrect because BOP policies do cover property damage that occurs at other locations, not just the insured's own property. Option D is also incorrect because BOP policies typically provide liability coverage for such incidents, making a separate CGL policy unnecessary in this case. Question 3. Scenario-based. Sarah owns a restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina. Recently, she purchased commercial property insurance for her business, which includes coverage for her building and business personal property. A fire breaks out in the kitchen, causing significant damage to the building and equipment. The insurance policy has a $5,000 deductible, and the total damage is estimated at $50,000. Based on this scenario, which of the following statements accurately describes how Sarah's insurance policy will likely respond to the claim? A. Sarah will only be reimbursed for the total damage amount of $50,000 as the deductible does not affect the coverage provided. B. Sarah will be reimbursed $45,000 as the deductible is subtracted from the total loss amount of $50,000. C. Sarah will have to pay the full $50,000 for the damage as deductibles apply to all types of coverage. D. Sarah will receive a partial reimbursement of $45,000 with an additional $5,000 deductible applied to her liability coverage. Answer B. Explanation. In commercial property insurance, deductibles are subtracted from the total loss amount before reimbursement is made. In Sarah's case, the total damage is $50,000 and the deductible is $5,000. Therefore, her reimbursement from the insurance company would be $45,000, $50,000. $5,000 option is incorrect because the deductible does affect the coverage amount, reducing the payout. Option C is incorrect because the deductible is not a full coverage exclusion, it only reduces the payout. Option D is also incorrect because the deductible applies to property coverage and not liability coverage in this scenario. Question 4. Which of the following statements about commercial crime insurance is correct regarding coverage for employee dishonesty? Employee dishonesty coverage under commercial crime insurance only applies to direct theft from a customer. B. The policy will cover loss due to dishonest acts by employees, but it typically requires the employee to be convicted of a crime before coverage applies. C. commercial crime insurance will cover losses caused by employee theft, including funds, property, and securities, regardless of whether the employee is convicted. D. Employee dishonesty coverage is generally excluded from commercial crime insurance unless specifically endorsed by a separate policy. Answer C. Explanation: commercial crime insurance provides coverage for losses caused by dishonest acts of employees, such as theft of money, property, or securities. This coverage applies regardless of whether the employee is convicted of a crime. Option A is incorrect because employee dishonesty coverage is not limited to theft from customers, it includes theft from the business itself. Option B is incorrect because no conviction is required for the coverage to apply. Option D is incorrect because employee dishonesty coverage is typically included in commercial crime insurance, not excluded. Question 5. Which of the following is not a typical exclusion found in a commercial general liability CGL policy? A. Damage caused by the insured's products or completed work. B. Bodily injury resulting from the use of company-owned vehicles. C. Pollution damage resulting from the insured's operations. D. Bodily injury from professional services rendered by the insured. Answer B. Explanation: commercial general liability CGL policies generally provide coverage for bodily injury, property damage, and personal injury, but they also include a number of exclusions. Damage caused by the insured's products or completed work, option A, and pollution, option C, are common exclusions. However, bodily injury resulting from the use of company-owned vehicles is typically covered under a separate commercial auto insurance policy, not the CGL. Professional services, option D, are usually excluded unless the insured has purchased a separate professional liability errors and omissions policy. Question 6. Mr. Baker operates a small manufacturing company and recently purchased a commercial auto insurance policy. While delivering products to a customer, one of his company vehicles is involved in an accident, injuring the driver of the other vehicle. The accident occurs while the vehicle is being driven by a non-employee. Which of the following coverages is most likely to respond to the claim? A. The personal injury protection (PIP) coverage on the vehicle. B. The liability portion of the commercial auto insurance policy. C. The non-owned auto coverage under the CGL policy. D. The physical damage coverage under the commercial auto insurance policy. Answer B. Explanation: commercial auto insurance typically includes liability coverage for bodily injury and property damage resulting from accidents involving company vehicles. In this scenario, since the accident occurred while the vehicle was being driven by a non-employee, but for company business, the liability coverage on the commercial auto insurance policy would respond to the claim. Option A is incorrect because personal injury protection (PIP) generally applies to injuries sustained by the policyholder or passengers, not others involved in the accident. Option C is incorrect because the CGL policy does not cover vehicle accidents, it covers general liability exposures. Option D would apply to physical damage to the vehicle, not liability for injuries to another party. Question 7. Scenario-based. Mr. Williams owns a commercial building and recently purchased business property insurance, which includes a special form policy with a $10,000 deductible. A large storm causes extensive damage to the building's roof and the repair costs are estimated at $100,000. After the insurance company evaluates the damage, they approve the claim but inform Mr. Williams that only $90,000 will be covered. What is the most likely reason for this adjustment in the payout? A. The deductible has been subtracted from the total damage, reducing the payout by $10,000. B. The insurance company is applying depreciation as the building was more than 10 years old, reducing the payout by $10,000. C. The insurance policy only covers a portion of roof damage and the rest is Mr. Williams' responsibility. D. The insurance company has determined that only $90,000 worth of the damage is covered under the policy, excluding certain exclusions. Answer A. Explanation: in property insurance, the deductible is subtracted from the total amount of the claim before reimbursement is made. In this case, the damage is estimated at $100,000, and after applying the $10,000 deductible, the payout is reduced to $90,000. Option B is incorrect because depreciation may apply to specific items such as personal property, but does not automatically apply to the building under a special form policy unless specifically stated. Option C is incorrect because there is no indication that roof damage is excluded. Option D is incorrect unless there are exclusions explicitly stated in the policy, which is not provided in this case. Question 8. Which of the following is a characteristic of a business owner's policy? A. It automatically includes coverage for all types of business liability exposures. B. It provides coverage for both property and liability in a single package policy, but only for small businesses. C. It includes coverage for workers' compensation insurance without the need for a separate policy. D. It offers unlimited property coverage with no deductibles for any business losses. Answer: B. Explanation: a business owner's policy (BOP) combines property and liability coverage in a single package policy, making it convenient for small businesses. It is designed to cover businesses with relatively low exposure and is generally less expensive than purchasing separate policies for each type of coverage. Option is incorrect because a BOP does not automatically cover all types of liability. It typically covers general liability and may require additional endorsements for specialized risks. Option C is incorrect because workers' compensation is a separate policy and not included in a standard BOP. Option D is incorrect because BOP policies have deductibles and coverage limits based on the terms of the policy. Question 9. Which of the following best describes a commercial umbrella insurance policy? A. It extends coverage for excess liability over other insurance policies that provide primary coverage. B. It provides coverage for a specific type of business, such as contractors or manufacturers. C. It only covers the insured's property in the event of a disaster. D. It eliminates the need for underlying liability insurance as it provides complete coverage on its own. Answer A. Explanation: a commercial umbrella insurance policy is designed to extend the liability coverage limits of other primary insurance policies, such as commercial general liability, commercial auto, or employer's liability. It provides additional coverage above the limits of the primary policy. Option B is incorrect because an umbrella policy is not limited to a specific type of business. Option C is incorrect because umbrella policies do not cover property, they are liability policies. Option D is incorrect because umbrella insurance does not replace primary insurance but enhances the liability coverage provided by the primary policies. Question 10. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under business owner's policy BOP? A. Business personal property. B. Commercial liability for bodily injury or property damage. C. Loss of business income during a period of suspension due to covered loss. D. Workers' compensation benefits for employees. Answer D. Explanation: a business owner's policy BOP typically includes coverage for business personal property, commercial liability, and loss of business income during a suspension due to a covered loss. However, workers' compensation is a separate policy and is not included in a BOP. Option A, B, and C are all typical coverages provided by a BOP for small businesses. Question 11. Which of the following is a key feature of a commercial property insurance policy? A. It automatically covers the loss of business income without additional endorsements. B. It typically covers the insured's business personal property, including equipment, furniture, and inventory. C. It only provides coverage for the physical property of the business, excluding the building itself. D. It is required by law for all businesses to have coverage for their physical property. Answer B. Explanation: a commercial property insurance policy typically covers the business's physical property, including equipment, furniture, and inventory. Option A is incorrect because business income coverage is usually an optional endorsement. Option C is incorrect because the policy can cover both business personal property and, in some cases, the building itself. Option D is incorrect because while some businesses may be required to have property insurance by lenders or local regulations, it is not required by law for all businesses. Question 12. What is the primary purpose of the liability section of a business owner's policy BOP? A. To cover the costs of repairing damage to the business property. B. To protect the business from claims of bodily injury or property damage caused by its operations or products. C. To cover the income loss resulting from a business interruption. D. To cover legal costs associated with defending the business in court. Answer B. Explanation: the liability section of a BOP is designed to protect a business from claims of bodily injury or property damage caused by its operations, products, or services. This section does not cover the cost of property repairs. Option A, income loss. Option C, or legal costs. Option D, in their entirety. These items may be addressed in other parts of the policy or as separate endorsements. Question 13. Which of the following is typically excluded under commercial general liability CGL policy? Bodily injury caused by an employee during the course of employment. B. Damage to the insured's own property. C. Claims of libel or slander by employees. D. Personal injury resulting from advertising activities. Answer B. Explanation. A commercial general liability (CGL) policy typically excludes coverage for damage to the insured's own property. Option B. It provides coverage for bodily injury, personal injury, and property damage to others, including damages from libel or slander. Option C. Advertising injuries. Option D. And bodily injury during employment. Option A. If not otherwise covered under workers' compensation. Question 14. What is the primary purpose of a surety bond in business insurance? A. To provide financial support to the business in case of a claim. B. To guarantee that a contractor will complete a project according to the contract terms. C. To insure the business against natural disasters. D. To cover the business's workers in case of injury. Answer. B. Explanation. A surety bond is typically used to guarantee that a contractor will perform the work as agreed in a contract, ensuring that the work is completed on time and to the contract specifications. It is not intended to provide financial support for the business itself, option A, or cover workers' injuries, option D. Surety bonds also do not cover natural disasters, option C. Question 15. Which of the following is true about workers' compensation insurance? A. It covers all work-related injuries, regardless of fault. B. It provides coverage for both the business owner and employees. C. It is typically purchased on an individual basis for each employee. D. It includes coverage for employees injured while commuting to work. Answer A. Explanation. Workers' compensation insurance provides coverage for work-related injuries regardless of fault. This means employees are generally entitled to compensation for injuries sustained while on the job. Option B is incorrect because workers' compensation typically does not cover the business owner unless the owner is also an employee. Option C is incorrect because workers' compensation is typically purchased on a group basis for the entire workforce. Option D is incorrect because it generally does not cover injuries sustained while commuting unless the employee is performing work-related duties. Question 16. Which of the following types of insurance would provide coverage for an employee who sustains an injury while driving a company vehicle for work? A. Commercial property insurance. B. Commercial auto insurance. C. Professional liability insurance. D. General liability insurance. Answer. B. Explanation. Commercial auto insurance covers vehicles used for business purposes, including when employees drive company vehicles for work. Option was commercial property insurance. Covers property damage, not vehicle-related incidents. Option C. Professional liability insurance is designed for professional services, not vehicle-related injuries. Option D. General liability insurance is designed to cover non-automobile related injuries, such as those caused by accidents on the business premises. Question 17. Scenario-based. A local restaurant which purchased a business owner's policy BOP experiences a fire that damages its kitchen. The loss results in a total interruption of business for 30 days. What portion of the loss is covered by the business owner's policy? A. Only the cost of repairing the building. B. Only the business income loss during the period of interruption. C. Both the cost of repairs and the business income loss, subject to the policy limits. D. No coverage, as fire damage is excluded under a BOP policy. Answer. C. Explanation. A business owner's policy BOP typically provides both property damage coverage for repairs to the building and business interruption coverage for lost income during the downtime. The policy would cover both types of loss, but the total payout would be subject to the policy's limits. Option is incorrect because a BOP covers more than just the repair costs. Option B is incorrect because a BOP also covers physical damage, not just income loss. Option D is incorrect because fire damage is typically covered under a BOP. Question 18. Which of the following is a key characteristic of a commercial umbrella insurance policy? A. It provides broader coverage than the underlying policies, covering risks not included in the primary policies. B. It only covers claims that exceed the deductible of the primary insurance policies. C. It applies only to specific types of claims, such as property damage claims. D. It automatically increases the coverage limits of property insurance policies. Answer A. Explanation. A commercial umbrella insurance policy provides additional coverage above and beyond the limits of other primary liability policies, such as general liability or commercial auto insurance. It typically covers broader risks that may not be included in the underlying policies. Option B is incorrect because an umbrella policy covers excess liability claims above the primary policy's limits, not just those that exceed a deductible. Option C is incorrect because umbrella policies cover more than just property damage claims. Option D is incorrect because it does not automatically apply to property insurance limits. Question 19. Which of the following best describes commercial crime insurance? A. It covers the loss of business income due to employee theft or dishonesty. B. It covers losses due to external criminal activities such as robbery or vandalism. C. It covers the cost of repairing property damaged by criminal acts. D. It covers the insured's liability for crimes committed during business operations. Answer B. Explanation. Commercial crime insurance provides coverage for losses resulting from criminal activities such as burglary, robbery, or vandalism. It is not designed to cover income loss. Option A. Damage repair costs. Option C. Or liability for crimes. Option D. It specifically addresses the business's financial losses from criminal acts. Question 20. Which of the following would most likely be excluded under a professional liability insurance policy? A. Legal fees associated with defending a claim of negligence. B. Injuries caused by defective products manufactured by the insured. C. Bodily injury caused by errors in professional services. D. Claims arising from acts of professional negligence, such as an accountant's mistakes. Answer B. Explanation. Professional liability insurance typically covers claims arising from errors or omissions in the professional services provided, such as mistakes made by doctors, lawyers, or accountants. It does not generally cover injuries caused by defective products, which would be covered by a product liability insurance policy. Option B. Option O and D are covered under professional liability insurance as it handles defense and negligence claims in professional services. Option C is not excluded as it addresses professional errors. Question 21. Which of the following would be covered under a homeowner's insurance policy? A. Loss of rental income from a vacation rental property. B. Water damage from a broken pipe inside the home. C. Injury to a visitor on the homeowner's property. D. Damage to the homeowner's car from a natural disaster. Answer B. Explanation. A homeowner's insurance policy generally covers water damage from internal causes like a broken pipe. Option B. It typically does not cover loss of rental income. Option A. Damage to a vehicle. Option D. Or liability for business-related injuries not directly related to the residence, which is typically addressed under a separate policy for business property. Question 22. Which of the following is typically included under general liability insurance policy? A. Coverage for bodily injury and property damage resulting from business operations. B. Coverage for losses due to employee theft or fraud. C. Coverage for property damage to the business's own equipment. D. Coverage for the business owner's personal injury or medical expenses. Answer A. Explanation. General liability insurance typically covers bodily injury and property damage resulting from business operations. Option A. It does not cover employee theft. Option B. Damage to the business's own property. Option C. Or the business owner's personal injuries. Option D. Which would typically be addressed through other policies. Question 23. In the event of a claim, which of the following would trigger a property damage liability claim under commercial general liability CGL or CA? A customer slips and falls on the business premises. B. The business causes damage to a neighboring building during construction. C. An employee accidentally injures a customer while operating equipment. D. The business sells defective products that cause harm to consumers. Answer B. Explanation. A property damage liability claim under CGL policy is triggered when the business causes physical damage to someone else's property, such as damaging a neighboring building during construction. Option B. Option A involves bodily injury, not property damage. Option C relates to employee injury, not property damage. Option D involves product liability, which is a different type of coverage. Question 24. What is business interruption insurance primarily designed to cover? A. The cost of repairing damage to business property. B. The cost of paying employees during a business shutdown. C. Lost income due to a covered peril that forces the business to stop operations temporarily. D. Legal fees associated with defending the business against lawsuits. Answer C. Explanation. Business interruption insurance is designed to cover lost income due to a covered peril. G. Fire, storm that forces a business to temporarily halt operations. Option C. It does not cover repair costs. Option A. Employee wages. Option B. Or legal defense costs. Option D. Question 25. Which of the following is a common exclusion under a flood insurance policy? A. Damage to the home's foundation caused by a flood. B. Damage to personal property due to rising floodwaters. C. Damage to cars parked in the driveway during a flood. D. Damage to a basement caused by groundwater seepage. Answer D. An explanation. Flood insurance typically excludes damage caused by groundwater seepage. Option D. It does cover flood-related damage to the home's foundation. Option A. Personal property. Option B. And damage to cars. Option C. Under certain conditions. Question 26. What is the purpose of a deductible in an insurance policy? A. To set the limit on how much an insurance policy will pay for a claim. B. To reduce the cost of premiums paid by the insured. C. To increase the insurer's payout for large claims. D. To ensure the insured pays a portion of the loss before coverage kicks in. Answer D. Explanation. The purpose of a deductible is to require the insured to pay a portion of the loss before the insurance coverage begins. It does not set the payout limit, option A, or directly reduce premiums, option B. It also does not increase the insurer's payout, option C. Question 27. Which of the following is a key person insurance policy primarily designed to protect against A. Loss of income from a key employee's sudden death or disability, B. Legal liability associated with an employee's actions in the workplace, C. Injury or death caused by a key employee while working, D. Unemployment benefits for a key employee who resigns. Answer A. Explanation. Key person insurance is designed to protect a business from the financial impact of losing a key employee due to sudden death or disability. Option A. It does not cover liability. Option B. Workers' compensation claims. Option C. Or unemployment benefits. Option D. Question 20. Which of the following is typically covered under a commercial auto insurance policy? A. Damage to the business's building from a vehicle accident. B. Personal injury to the business owner while driving the company vehicle. C. Property damage or bodily injury caused by a company vehicle in an accident. D. Theft of the company vehicle from a parking lot. Answer C. Explanation. Commercial auto insurance typically covers property damage or bodily injury caused by a company vehicle in an accident. Option C. It does not cover damage to the business's building. Option A. Personal injury to the business owner. Option B. Or theft of the vehicle. Option D. Unless specifically added to the policy. Question 29. Which of the following is typically excluded under a professional liability insurance policy for a healthcare provider? A. A claim of negligence for improper diagnosis. B. A claim related to a healthcare provider's personal injury outside of their professional duties. C. A claim for malpractice during surgery. D. A claim resulting from a healthcare provider's failure to follow state regulations. Answer B. Explanation. Professional liability insurance covers claims related to professional duties such as negligence, malpractice, or errors in professional services. Option A. C. D. It does not typically cover personal injury claims unrelated to the professional duties. Option B. Question 30. Which of the following best describes the purpose of insurance underwriting? A. To determine the premiums paid by policyholders. B. To pay claims based on the insured events. C. To evaluate the risk of insuring a person or business and set appropriate coverage terms. D. To market insurance policies to new customers. Answer C. Explanation. Insurance underwriting is the process of evaluating the risk of insuring a person or business and determining the appropriate coverage terms and premiums. It does not pay claims. Option B. Market policies. Option D. Or directly set the premiums without considering the risk. Option A.